navigate some really challenging year and allowing us to really practice and try new things and fail with us and being so understanding. So the last 4 weeks, about 4.5 weeks, we get to bring your kids back. And I shared with you guys in the overall meeting, if you were there last week, about the purpose of bringing kids back when there's only 4 weeks left. And those of you guys who are in junior high, we're doing SBAC testing right now. So really, what is the purpose? The purpose is to really just get everybody to reacclimate to coming back, having a routine in place, to coming to school and doing it safely in small groups, while allowing our families who do feel they need to stay home still have access to that learning at home. So it's really providing our families with options. Is to reconnect with our students. We've actually been open for K-5. This was our first week with all of our kinder through 5th graders. We had about 110 students on campus in a day, and it's really, really nice to see all of them. It's been going very smoothly, and any type of nervousness or anxiety that we had before or families had, it quickly dissipates as soon as we see each other. It's kind of like riding a bicycle. So if you're feeling nervous about it a little bit, students, parents, it's normal. We were feeling nervous about it too. We haven't seen each other for like a year. So some of us were saying it's kind of like online dating. We saw each other online and now we get to see you in person again. And so at first there'll be a little bit of excitement and anxiety, and it will be smooth sailing like we're riding a bicycle. And I'm only able to say that because we've been doing that with our K-5 students for 3 weeks now. Is to reestablish connection with our community, really focus our socialization, and to reestablish trust with you parents that you are leaving us your most prized possession with us during a pandemic to be able to take care of your children. And so we appreciate the trust that you're giving us. And then it's also to give your students a chance of independence. They've been doing it at home. And so it's, can you trust them and also give them the independence to be able to learn, reacclimate, and maybe even fail a little bit by themselves at school? And then also to them to really socialize with each other. What does it really feel like and look like to be able to learn in a social setting with others? And so it's all of those goals that bring us to be able to offer you guys the hybrid option. Oh, you guys should have gotten a message whether you're in cohort A or B. I cannot stress enough how important it is that you get my messages on Parent Square, and also your email needs to be correct. Some of you guys emailed me and said I didn't get anything, so I told you to check your spam and or check on your Aries to make sure your email was correct. Some of you guys were using a different email than what you once registered on Aries. That means you won't be getting my responses. So make sure your information is correct, because I will be sending daily reminders and updates to the message, to your email and Parent Square. So make sure you're getting those messages. So hybrid learning model, everyone's schedule is changing regardless if your child chose hybrid or not. So even the days that they're at home, they're following this new schedule. Mondays are 100% distance learning. And this is where the big change comes. Cohort A is the ones who's coming in person. They're coming Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And cohort Bs are Thursdays and Fridays. Those parents who have K-5 students, that's a different cohort. So it does not match all the way. It's a little different. So please note the difference. So if your child is in cohort A, they'll come to school from 9 to 12:50 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And cohort B and C, which are the distance learning students, will continue learning at home, same teacher, same class. Then we'll flip. Cohort B will come in person Thursday and Friday, while cohort A and C, which are 100% distance online students, will log in at home. So you'll see your teacher every single day still. It's just that 2 days out of the 5, you'll do it in person. So this is a schedule. Monday does not change. It's 100% online. You see all of your 6 classes. Tuesday and Friday is where the big schedule changes, and this will be posted online, parents. I know some of you guys were calling for that, but it's not changing. I'm sorry, it will be available online. I just didn't want to change it this week because we're still operating off of the old schedule for this week. So Tuesdays and Wednesdays, the big change is that Tuesdays are going to be periods 1, 2, 3, and not 1, 3, 5. That's the biggest change, and we need to remind our students of that big change. Periods are a little shorter. It's 70-minute periods, not 90-minute periods. We do get a break between period 1 and 2. That's for 15 minutes. There's a passing period, and then there's also travel time at the end of the day. So the travel time is about 15 minutes, and then the students get lunch time as well. And then the afternoon is all online, and teachers will be available to offer live support if the student wants. It's not mandatory, but teachers might ask the students to come back, or they may be available for tutoring for further support online. So I'll give you guys a minute to digest that a little bit. So I do want to clarify that your schedule doesn't change, your teacher doesn't, your classes don't change, and your teachers don't change. You're just doing 2 days in school and 3 days at home, but nothing else really changes. Okay, so this is what a sample classroom setup looks like. We have made our cohorts, and the average class size per period is about 10 students. Families, we used to have 37 in a class, and PE used to be up to 50. So this is a very small class. So if you're thinking about how crowded they will be or how much they will be next to each other, every desk is 6 feet apart, if not more, because there's only 10 students. And students will not be sharing desks. We have A and B's set up and cleaning routine embedded in between as well. And desks will be labeled A and B. So that's a sample classroom setup. So Ingress, when you're dropping off students or walking, we'll start at 8:45. This is one of the most important things that I ask of parents or students coming to school. One, we do not have before school supervision. Those are for 2 main reasons. One is we are doing drop off of K-5 right before we get to 6th through 8th grade. We're literally doing drop off from 8:15, and we get done with our K-5. They are supposed to be in class between 8:30 to 9, and then we're rushing over to 6A to do the drop off for 6A. So we have no staff actually to do before school supervision. But 2, it's also for the safety of your students. The longer that they are left idle or unsupervised or in an open space, unstructured, the closer they're gonna get. And so we're trying to limit that time to 15 minutes. And so 8:45 to 9, it's that drop-off time. There will be markers outside where they're going to wait 6 feet apart. There will be supervision. And then 9 o'clock hits, the gates are gonna open, and they're going to go directly to their first class. There is going to be no hanging out time. I know that students love to hang out, but we are limiting that as much as possible so that we're keeping to that 15-minute limitation in the 6 feet rule. And so drop-off time is a really short 15-minute span. We think we could do it. We just ask the parents, you come a little earlier, you may have to drive through maybe at 8:40-ish and wait just a little bit, but we're able to get through 110 kids in a matter of 15 minutes. We got it down back to a science. And so as long as you help us and follow some of our directions, we'll be able to get your kids in safely, efficiently, in under 15 minutes. And so if you're driving through, I'm gonna show you a map where you drive through, especially if you're new to our campus. But 8:45 is when we're gonna start lining up the kids outside. They're going to do a health screener. I'm going to show you what that is. If you are dropping off your child, parents, you could do it on your phone and show us, or if your student has a phone, a smartphone, they can do it themselves. And then once they go up to station 2, we're going to do a temperature check, which is we're checking for their temperature. And as soon as those things are cleared, and at 9 o'clock, we'll be opening gates for them to go to their first class. Students will also receive a locator badge the first day, because all of you guys, it'll be the first time on campus, so you won't know what rooms to go to. So you'll get your little printout of your schedule so you know what rooms to go to. And then 9 o'clock, students will enter campus. So if you're arriving after 9, then you need to go to the main office, and the students will be checked in there, and the health screen will be done there. So this is our map. So if you've been on our campus, we are on a hill, and we have K through 5th grade. And so school entrance, there's a little signal light. You're gonna go through there, and you're going to make a left instead of going all the way around, and there's a drop-off zone there. And that's where students are going to be dropped off. There's going to be places for them to line up. The most important thing for you guys to be ready to show us is the health screener. Students cannot get out of the car unless you guys are showing us that before they get out. And then you will also receive a student pickup badge, a locator badge, and I'll talk about that when we talk about pickup, but it also really helps us identify the cars to the students as quickly as possible. So that's kind of like the map of how you'll come in. Pickup time is 12:50. Students are dismissed at 12:50 and will be coming out to the parking lot and lining up. And so I ask you to pull all the way forward, which is through the snake curve, almost at the exit, just so that we're not backed up. Families who have been here before, if we get backed up to the light, and then we get backed up at Royal Oaks Drive, and it causes a lot of traffic jam. So we ask that you just follow our directions and pull all the way forward. And you will have your student's name displayed on the right side of the dashboard. If you can just get a piece of paper and an 8x10 paper or any type of scratch paper and just write your student's first and last name and their grade, that way we can call out for a student really quickly and identify. After a week or two or a few times, we really could identify and match cars really quickly. It's just that the first day, with all of your masks on and all the different cars, it's really hard to tell who you guys are without your full identification. So it really helps us really identify the right car to the person. All students must be picked up at 1:15, and if you guys are late, then they will probably go up to the main office while we could kind of keep them separated, but still keep them supervised. But really, in the past few weeks, our pickup and drop-off has been down to 10 to 15 minutes. It's been really, really smooth. It's not as crowded as last time. So parents who are returning, if you remember how crowded our parking lots are, it's really, really quickly. Just give yourselves ample time that first day, because that's the first day you're going to have the most trouble with health screening, where to go, what to do. And so give yourself a little time that first day, but after a while, we'll get it down to a science. So here's some pictures of our welcome back stations and health screeners. So this is our health screening that you need to complete every day you are on campus, not the days that you're not. So this will be mailed to you, emailed to students and parents via Parent Square every morning to remind you. It's also on our website. You can take a picture of it right now. You can take a screenshot of the website. If you use your smartphone, the QR code will pop it up right away. This is the important thing. Parents, you do not put your name in there. Students have to put their name in there. So get in the practice of your students filling it themselves, because they know their email address. It has to be their email address, not yours. And then after you fill in the student's email address, there should be an option where you put your phone number in so that you can just get reminders daily. And then you answer some questions about health, how you're feeling, your temperature. They ask you to take your temperature there just to see that you're under 100.4. And then you'll get a little green check. That's what I need to see. So that green check is important. Some people fill it out like at 1 o'clock in the morning and they drop them off at 8 o'clock. That doesn't work. You need to do it within a couple of hours. But I need you to save that screenshot. Either you can save that screen or that browser on your phone, or save it as a screenshot, because once you leave it, it will sometimes disappear. So make sure you're saving that screen, because that's what you need to show me, that green check mark. So I look for the green check mark, I look for the student's name, and then I look for the date and the time. And then once you pass that, you pass your station 1. If your students are right next to you, please ask them, what's your email address? They need to know it. They should know it. That's what they have to go onto their Google Classroom and your Google Chromebook anyway. All right. I'm going to show you guys a quick video, a few-minute video. Some families told me, I've never been on this campus before. What does it look like? Where's my classrooms? And so Mr. Mayer, one of our math teachers, actually did a tour at the beginning of the year for families who are new. And so he's going to take us on a quick little tour. Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Yes, no?
No.
All right.
No.
I can't hear it.
Thank you. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Let me try to figure out why the screen doesn't work. I mean, the sound doesn't work. And then I would try to do it again at the end of the presentation. I think I figured it out. Can you guys see it?
Not yet.
No.
Okay, I will. Oh, I know. I got it now. Thank you. Okay, never mind. It says I have to install something. Okay, never mind. Let us go, and then I will figure out why. Poor Mr. Mayor. Sorry, Mr. Mayor. Okay, I will come back to that presentation at the end for families who do want to watch it because your kids or you have not been on our campus yet. Safety protocol. So the only thing your child is expected to have as soon as they are on campus is to have a mask on.
Dr. Kamino, huh?
Yes?
You're not presenting.
I'm not presenting anymore.
Mm-mm.
Yes?
Now you're good.
Oh my goodness. Can you guys hear that now?
Yeah.
It works now?
Yes.
Welcome to Royal Oaks STEAM Academy. My name is Mr. Mayor. I'm one of the math teachers here at Royal Oaks. And today I will be your tour guide extraordinaire. So let's go ahead and get started to see your brand new campus. I'd like to welcome you to our middle school campus. Nice open courtyard. You got all the classrooms side by side here. You can walk around. This is a nice view of the mountains that you can see as well. And as you see, you're going to spend most of your day right in between these walls. This is all going to be your middle school. Now, we do have elementary school on campus as well. They are up the hill, closer to those mountains up there. So right now, we're going to take a peek at the coolest classroom on campus, which obviously is mine because it's full of math. So this is how most of the classrooms are going to be set up. You've got your projector right there. Interactive whiteboards are there. And then here is just a look of the classroom, not set up yet, but just wanted to give you an idea of what these look like. And again, most of the classrooms, they do look pretty similar. Okay, so that is the very first look. This is our fields, our basketball courts, and just a nice open place that you can play. They got a volleyball net set up. So there's just a lot of activities that you can do here on your free time between classes. And then next up on our tour, you can see the middle school campus is right behind us. And we have walked up the steps and we are now under the awning. So the awnings here, this is where you're going to be eating lunch. You can also get some breakfast, have your breakfast, your morning snack here as well. And then right above where the awnings are, next up, I'm going to take you to your brand new science lab. So this just opened last year. We got a whole bunch of brand new resources in here to help you guys get hands-on experience with your science content. So this is where you're going to be doing your labs. Got all of our stations set up here and brand new sinks, all that kind of stuff set up here for sanitation, so that you guys can really get into test tubes, dissection, that's middle school stuff, and get some hands-on learning. So here is your cafeteria. Again, that's not all set up right now, but just want to give you an idea. So nice, big, open cafeteria. And again, not sure how this is going to look yet, what we're going to do with our kiddos and what classes and all that kind of stuff. But this is what you're going to experience there. And we are up here at the main office to say hello to your brand new principal, Dr. Tamanaha.
Hello, thank you for choosing to be a part of the Royal Oak STEAM Academy and the Eagle family. I look forward to meeting all of you in August.
This concludes our tour. Can't wait to meet you guys. Have a great rest of your summer, and we'll see you soon. All right, take care.
Okay, so obviously that was done at the beginning of the year when we're trying to figure out COVID still, but it gave you a good picture of the play areas and the basketball courts and the lunch areas and the classroom. It's really literally around a circle, and that open space is going to be available for students to access during that 15-minute break. And so it is a good look at where they could actually have their snacks during that 15-minute break, or just kind of sit 6 feet apart and enjoy some safe, socially distant time with their friends that they haven't seen in a while. So all that space will still be open. Our cafeteria is not open for obvious reasons. We're not serving food there. But otherwise, all that 6-8 side of the junior high side of the campus will be available for our junior high students. So that was still a good picture of what our students will have access to. So before we had technical difficulties, we were talking about the safety protocol. We talked about the masks for your students. That's what we need. Any visitors on campus or even parents dropping off your child, you need to have your masks on because our staff will be coming up to your car to look at your health screener. We do have individual face shields available. It's not required, only the masks are required. We have gloves, hand sanitizer, and disinfecting wipes in every single classroom. It's not for students to use necessarily, but teachers to use as they are comfortable. The classrooms will be cleaned and sanitized and fogged nightly as well. So there is no reason for them to be wiping. But if you do want to send them with hand sanitizer, you absolutely can. There will be also hand sanitizers in every single classroom for students as well. Students' desk is stationed 6 feet apart. There are clear barriers for teachers, and there's also desk barriers for students if they do ask for it, and hand sanitizing stations. In addition to the personal PPE equipment, some things to note is the health screening and temperature checks at the check-in. We have nightly cleaning of disinfection, sanitation, and fogging. Individual learning materials, those are going to be limited. We also have holding rooms for students who may exhibit some symptoms during the day. We do fog classrooms or disinfect during the break, and we have a clear protocol. I know parents were asking about that at the overview meeting about the protocol for COVID cases, but we do have 2 isolation rooms just in case they exhibit symptoms. So families, it is really important that you screen them before they come. I know in the past, even if they felt a little sick, you sent them because that's their work ethic. They want to go to school, but this is not the time to be doing that. This is a time to be more safe than more liberal in sending your students. So please screen them. That is the best way that we can keep our schools open. So I really appreciate your support and really go through the questions and not just skim through it. That will help us make sure that our students and our staff are healthy and safe. So these are some images of our different health protocols. Additional information, 7th grade families, make sure your students' vaccines are up to date. There's a handful of families that are getting calls from our health aide today and yesterday, letting you know that your Tdap vaccination needs to be up to date for 7th grade. So if you got a call, you know who you are. Travel advisory, that's from the state of California and our county. If you have, or your child actually has traveled out of the state of California, they need to quarantine for 10 days before returning to an in-person cohort. So please notify the office. You'll automatically go back to the distance learning for that time. And once that 10-day quarantine period is over, he or she can continue in the cohort with us. There will be district grab-and-go meals early in the morning, but they will not be able to eat it on campus. So if your student wants to bring a snack during that 15-minute period, they absolutely can. I really do advise that they do bring a refillable water. We won't have any drinking fountains, but we do have a refillable water station. If your child is in Think Together that is operating, you don't need to do anything differently. And then I also want to remind you that the thing that they need to bring with them is going to be their laptop. So the night before, we need to have a fully charged laptop and a charger with them. And for those students who do not have a district issued device, they need to email our RO tech support immediately so we can reserve one for you. Your personal device is not going to work with us. Only the district device will be able to connect to the internet. And most of our teachers will be still using Google Classroom and Google Meets to be turning in work. So they do need to bring their computer with them every day. And then also because they are on campus with us, the use of their technology, their cell phones and their laptops only need to be for school purposes only. We ask that they keep their phones in their bags and they don't use it during class time, and it's only for appropriate materials, and same thing for the laptop as well. So all of these things could be kind of found on the COVID handbook and also the FAQ shared with the district office. I think I went over all the things to prepare practicing health screening. So I can go back to that screen. If you guys have a smartphone, I know some of you guys are logging on your phone already, but if you have a smartphone, if you guys could try it, try the QR code and make sure it pops up for you. Make sure that you are able to go through the motions with your student's email address and actually answer the questions. Practicing now will help you so much time, because if it's the first time you're doing it on the day you drop off your child, it's going to take you time because you're going to be fumbling. You're going to be nervous, like, oh my gosh, there's going to be a lot of people. That's what's kept the line long the first couple of days. And so practicing that will really eliminate crowds and really help us move students quickly and efficiently and not crowd students together. So practicing that would be really helpful. I will be sending this presentation to you via Parent Square, so you can try that later. If it doesn't work for you now, you need your student's email address. You can do it with your email address right now if you wanted to, but on the day that you drop them off, it's for your child. Okay, so I am going to, how do I stop? I'm going to stop the presentation, and I'm also going to stop the recording and the streaming. Then I can open it up for questions and answers.
And I tried to answer the majority of the questions in the chat. I included the link to the district website for the dress code. Students in 6 through 8 do not wear uniforms. They just follow dress code. There were lots of questions about the health screener. If they're walking or riding their bike to school, different options for showing that. They can print it out, or the student can show it on their phone if they have a phone. And how you send the reminders out through Parent Square for that. And if you want, I mentioned it in the chat, but somebody did ask, can they sign up for hybrid later and try it later? And I recommended we need to know now if they're going to be in hybrid with so few weeks left. And try out hybrid if you think that's something your child might want to do. If it doesn't work for them, it's not a good fit, you can always have them return to 100% distance learning. It's harder to go the opposite direction. So if you want to try hybrid, you're not totally sure, have them try it out first. And if it doesn't work, you let us know and we'll have them return to 100% distance learning. Okay. I'm screening the chat really quickly to see if I miss anything.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Fish, you got muted.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the let's see. Let's see. Oh, a parent was asking, which email do we send the travel advisory to? Oh, I lost my chat. If Dr. Shamanaha, where are you recommending that they send the travel advisory message to if they're going to be out and start with distance learning to begin with because they have to quarantine?
Yes, they can send it to either Mrs. Fish or me. And then I will forward it to the teachers and also make note of it.
Let's see. Sorry, there's other people in the office. Hold on.
Do I have access to that chat room?
Here's a good question. Students will be moving from classroom to classroom. What is the protocol for cleaning in between classes? And if you want to speak to the size of the cohort that they're allowed to be in and all that.
Okay, so I do want to address the walking or the biking that is allowed for your students to walk or bike to school. And so there are two ways that they can come onto campus by walking. There's where it says school exit, there's a walk path there, and there's a pedestrian walkway there. And then also school entrance, there's a pathway there. We have a park along the Royal Oaks Drive that is like a pathway for I guess a walking or jogging pathway. So those of you guys who've never been on campus, there are two ways that students can kind of walk onto it. And so they can't bike on, but they need to get off the bike and walk their bike once they're inside the campus. But there is a bike rack if you wanted to. You need to bring your own lock, or you can walk on campus. And students who are walking or biking needs to bring the health screener on their phone already done and or do a printout. Now, if your child doesn't have either one of those or doesn't know how to do that, I need you to message me on Parent Square and we can get on a message and figure out a better way that I can assist you. But they're in junior high, so they should be able to answer those questions. And we also have a paper version as a last resort. There will be a spot where they will be 6 feet apart from other people answering those questions. I just don't recommend that because it will delay you getting into school or in the classroom, and it's going to cause a little bit of a traffic jam. And so I don't recommend it. I do recommend you doing it ahead of time. Okay. The cohort sizes, we are at about 40% of families wanting to bring their students back. Our entire junior high population is about 430 students. That leaves us at about 162-ish, I think last time I checked, students coming back, and that's about 80 students per day. That's very little. That's less than a quarter of our normal student body. So it's not going to be very crowded at all, and every classroom has about average of 10 students. Now our PE might have like 12 or 13, but at all times they are stationed 6 feet apart in the classroom. So average of 10. But some, there might be just one. Some, there might be two. But an average of like maybe 6, 7, 10 at the most. That was the answer for cohort questions. Mrs. Fitch, do we have other questions?
Yeah, they're asking about how is the break handled in terms of managing the students and social distancing and things like that. If you want to speak to that one.
Say that one more time.
Managing students while they're on break and the social distancing and trying to maintain that with the kids.
That is absolutely a really good question. And so we will have constant supervision of the students. We always have supervision of students. Even when there was no COVID, we always supervise wherever they were located. We do have the entire junior high campus with about 80 students, so they could really be spread far apart and not really have to crowd. Restrooms are for one student use only at a time, although there are 2 or 3 stalls in each restroom. There are markers for them to wait outside. They do need to call out and say, hey, anybody in there? Just like in a restaurant, it says only one family at a time, or even an elevator, it says only one family at a time. It's really up to the people who are following those rules to actually follow through it. And so we will have people circulating, and we will be circulating, making sure kids are following the rules by staying 6 feet apart and wearing masks. But at the same time, and we also have markers on the tables. We have a lot of benches, and it says where they could sit and not sit, and those are stationed 6 feet apart. However, the LA County Department of Public Health says as long as we limit it to less than 15 minutes and further than 6 feet apart, it's not considered close proximity. But the longer they stay together, it's going to be more risk of any type of exposure to anything, right? And so that's a conversation we need to have with our own children to say, if just how you feel about it, we need to be okay to tell your friends, hey, I love seeing you, I don't want to see you, but I'm going to sit here, and just set that expectation. That has to be something that our students know how to do themselves as well. And that's part of the independence. Are they able to stand up for themselves and really follow the protocols to ensure their own safety while they're away from you, right? But we're going to be there circulating. And in the classrooms, there will always be 6 feet apart. And it's outside, because it's such a big campus for 80 kids, there's really no reason to crowd. There's really no reason for them to be huddled together. What I expect, although we'll have some light play equipment available for them to do without, really being close together, is that they'll just sit around our wheel, which is that circle area, or sit on the tables like 6 feet apart and just chat or be on the phone. That's usually what our junior highs kind of tend to do. And so I don't foresee it being a huge problem, and there is no space issue. They're not crowded at all. So with the help of parents reinforcing that, and your students also reinforcing it themselves, and a constant supervision, I feel like the social distancing will be okay. Like I said, we had K-5 and kinders being the littlest of ones, not knowing how to keep their mask on, but they did really good. And so if we can get kinders to maintain that distance and maintain their safety and keep their masks on and keep the distance while they play, I feel our junior high students will be doing just fine. And so I think everybody kind of has to do their part to help each other reinforce the safety and health rule of our campus. That's a really good question. So please have that conversation with your children.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was scanning through the chat, so I don't know if you also addressed this while you're talking about it, but what's the protocol for cleaning in between classes? Did you address that?
I did not. Do you want to address that?
Yes. So the health department is the latest update is that while disinfecting is not needed throughout the day, frequent cleaning is going to be done throughout the day. So hot spots, frequently touched door handles, things like that, the restrooms, all of those will be disinfected frequently throughout the day. But because of the way our cohorts are being set up and the way the classrooms, as you saw in that picture, students are not sharing a desk while we're maintaining that 6 feet. They are going to be using a different desk. And then we have an opportunity at the break to add some additional cleaning in between, so that with 3 different sections of kids coming into one classroom, it will be, say, desk A is for this group of kids, desk B is for this group of kids, and in between they're cleaned. Well, it's really desk A, cleaned at break, then desk A and B. And then at night, every night, those classrooms are disinfected and deep cleaned. Okay. I lost my cat again. Hold on. Let's see. There were a lot of great questions about, so sorry. I did have one specific question for a child who is allergic or has allergies to the hand sanitizer. What would the parent do instead of that child disinfecting their hands with the hand sanitizer upon entering?
That's a good question. There's different types of hand sanitizers. The ones that don't have, those are more, child friendly. I use it for my little babies if, they can't have alcohol or things like that. So it depends on what your student is specifically allergic to. And I'm sure there's good alternatives. But first and foremost, the best way to keep your hands clean is to wash it for 20 seconds with soap and water. And there's restrooms, and that's something that they could constantly do. But there's also really eco-friendly, but also allergen-friendly versions too. So I think that's something that you can equip your child with. All of the ones on our campus actually has, I think, alcohol in them. They're the general ones with the high the rate. So I'm not sure exactly what your child is allergic to, but there's some alternatives to that. But hand washing is definitely number one way to keep your hands clean.
Okay. A couple questions about entering the campus and about that health screener and showing proof of it. One, when you enter the campus, if you are new to our school, we have a signal out in front. So whether you enter from the west or the east, there's still a signal to control the traffic. And because we've gotten pretty darn good at managing our traffic flow in the morning, and we have these cohorts and grade level split, it shouldn't be an issue. So there's a signal to control that, so you'll be good. Then in terms of the